Hello there, my name is Toby Douglas, and for the last 10 years, I've been a local man. It's something I'm very passionate about. So passionate, in fact, that I've decided to run a little experiment and try to go full time. You see, I'm something of an obsessive individual. I love to exercise, and I love to rant, and I love to rant about exercise. I also enjoy making videos, and these days, that list of traits is somehow almost a business plan. So the question I've always thought about but never really been brave enough to answer is this. What happens if I put more of my time and effort into sharing and engaging with all of the things that I spend my time doing and thinking and talking about anyway? So that's basically what I'm going to be doing on here from now on until I run out of money. It's wildly irresponsible and not particularly well thought out, but it has to be done and it's true to me, so you can all cop it. Admittedly, and quite ironically, since making this revelatory commitment to self-actualization and progress, I have been utterly paralyzed by it, resulting in the first week of my New Year, New Me to take the shape of some of the least inspiring day-in-the-life content you've ever seen. The second I resolved to commit to something new and scary, the little man that lives in my head began delivering a fairly mean sermon of damning logistical hiccups and annoyingly valid character assassinations. Where will I post? In what format? And how many times a week? You don't even know how to edit. Your hairline's receding and you look bad in hats, etc., etc., etc. After a solid week of pacing the length of my kitchen with this internal audiobook, I got so fed up with my cerebral prison that I gave up on creating checklists and ordering calendars I'd never use, and instead decided to clear my head by going on my usual run. As I tightened my laces and headed out the door, a simple truth occurred to me that immediately resolved all of these quandaries. Local man lesson number 1. Perhaps the most important, glaringly obvious, and yet most difficult lesson of them all. Just start. You don't need to think about it more. You need to think about it less. I had become so obsessed with planning and perfection and error avoidance that I had accomplished not only nothing in my new endeavor, I'd done far less of the stuff that made me so keen to start the new endeavor in the first place. With this epiphany, I grabbed my microphone, told myself to go on the damn run, record my usual thoughts and observations about it, and whatever I returned home with would be my first video. Fist pumping over this eureka moment, I headed out and once again proceeded to film some of the worst content you've ever seen. About 40 takes in a park ruined by birds, trains, faulty equipment, and crippling self-awareness before running out of light completely. Not great. But over the course of these efforts, I was able to workshop what it was that I really wanted to say, and eliminate a whole bunch of ways that I definitely did not want to try and say it. Now, the lesson here is not one that should really surprise any of us. If you have ever become proficient at absolutely anything, then you will have lived and hence know this truth innately as a byproduct of that process. An end result is contingent above all else on a starting point. My epiphany did not lead me to the answer, but by engaging with it, it led me to the process of finding the next step I needed to take. It is impossible to get something right the first time. It's impossible to know what you're doing in something you've never done. And it is utterly pointless to try and measure your success in a foreign field by using metrics that you know nothing about. None of the questions that were plaguing me were even well defined, let alone answerable, without an initial piece of work through which to frame them. I wasn't a meticulous planner. I was a sophisticated avoider. Do not prioritize the perfect first step over taking a step at all. Break your vision down into the most laughably achievable components you can imagine, and you will soon find yourself passing the checkpoints that you could never have hoped to plan for anyway. Too often have I seen the weight of an informed, well-executed entry plan meet humbling realities, and leave would-be habit changes more disenchanted than when I met the Tooth Fairy.
Hey.
Make peace with the fact that you are going to suck, just as I am sucking in my new pursuit now. There is no perfect formula, and if there is, you certainly aren't going to find it by the end of your 6-week challenge. If you're a beginner, your ineptitude is not a disadvantage. It is your superpower. You have nothing but room to grow. Your measure of success starts and ends with being brave enough to suck and then coming back to suck again. If you've never been in the gym and your first session is 5 minutes on the treadmill and then 9 sit-ups before being carted out on a stretcher, then congratulations, that is a huge win. You promised yourself you'd start, and you push through your own barriers to do just that. That is all that matters for now. Nobody else is looking, nobody else cares, they're all wondering if they look bad in hats. The defiance of doubt is both where you will one day realize the true value of your pursuit lies, and what unites anybody who's ever pursued something they were afraid to fail at. We are all the same. The suck process resets constantly for everyone. Every single time we try something new. No matter how good you got at doing the last thing or how similar it is to the new thing. You just get better at speed running through the suck period, and you become more comfortable with being king or queen suck. So if you're a fellow resolver out there currently stuck in the mud of your own overthought, boil that shit the fuck down. Forget the minutia. Forget the dream physique. Forget the right gear, best time, and unwavering commitment straight out the gate. Build your belief in competence from the ground up by engaging in whatever bite-sized morsel of progress is immediately achievable in the next 24 hours. Repeat that process long enough, and you'll one day realize that all of those things in the way of your goal were the only things that made it worth having. In the spirit of this sentiment, I made sure to practice as I preach, by ticking off one of my own forgotten resolutions and playing in my first local group sporting event in over 15 years. Did it nearly kill me? Yes, it did. Did I look like a giant G.I. Joe running for the lights because I was trying not to tear a hamstring? Yes, I did. Can I barely walk now? No, I can't. But did it give me so much more than it cost me? Absolutely. And it will for you too. So long as you listen to your local man and stop thinking so much about how to start and just start. Now, if you've made it this far, then chances are you've probably been thinking about your own equivalent for this entire rant. That's good. Whatever it is, nobody else can do it for you, but you don't need them to. Your local man believes in you, so get to it. Good luck.